Hello children, today we will learn about the key features of federalisms. So my dear children, in my previous videos lectures, I have explained to you about the meaning of federalisms, and we learned that federalisms is a system of government in which the power is shared between the central authority with the various constituent units of the country. So, dear children, according to the federal structures, we have learned that there are two or more levels of government. Apart from that, my dear children, I have explained to you about the contrast between the Belgiums as well as the Sri Lanka country. So, in Belgium and Sri Lanka, when the federal structures was not adopted, during that time there was lot of problems in the society. So my dear children, in Belgiums, the leaders of Belgiums, they recognized the regional diversity and they adopted the divisions of powers, as well as they came to the conclusions that there is one solution to regional diversity is to share the power between the different constituent units of the country, and after that they share the power between the central government as well as the provincial government. So dear children, as we understood that federalisms is a systems of government in which the powers has been divided between the central authority with the various constituent units of the nations. So dear children, according to the federal structures, there is a key features of federalisms, and in the key features of federalism, let us learn one by one. So dear children, here there are two or more level of government. So in federalism structures, we understand that there is central government as well as state government as well as the provincial government. And here the different tiers of government who used to govern the same citizens, but they have their own jurisdictions in related to the matters of legislations, taxations as well as the administrations. So here the different tiers of government, they are governing the same citizens, they are having their own jurisdictions, own legal matter, own matters of legislations, taxations as well as the administrations. And in the third points, we have learned that the existence and authority of each tier of government has been constitutionally guaranteed here. So here the constitutions has been given the guarantee that the existence as well as the authority of the government, the more level of government has been approved by the constitutions. It is been guaranteed by the constitutions. The constitution who is giving guarantee that the existence as well as the authority of each level of government has been approved here. So dear children, in the fourth points we see the fundamental provisions of the constitutions, it cannot be changed by one level of government. So whatever the fundamental provisions is there in the constitutions, one level of government cannot be changed the constitutions. For that we need to have the consent of both levels of government, and when the both levels of government is giving their consent, then only the constitutions is, or the fundamental provision of constitutions is going to change. And at the same time we see the role of the courts. And what is the role of the court here? Their role is to interpret the constitutions and powers of different levels of governments. Many times we have seen that when the disputes which arising between the central government as well as the different levels of government, during that time the courts which is acting as an empire to settle the issue, to settle the disputes. Already we have learned, my dear children, that the courts is having the power to interpret the law, or if any problems is arising between the different levels of government, the court's responsibility is to settle the disputes. At the same time, the 6 points it talks about the sources of revenue has been specified very clearly, that which levels of revenue will go to the treasury of central government, as well as which levels of revenue will go to the provincial government as well as to the state government. It is been specified very clearly, and at the same time, as we have learned that the federal structures has dual objectives. According to point number 7, we have learned, my dear children, that the federal systems has dual objectives. And what is the dual objective? To safeguard and promote unity of the country, and at the same time accommodate regional diversity. So what they do here, their duties is to safeguard as well as promote unity of the country, just like the country of Belgium. So the country of Belgium, mostly the leaders of Belgium, they recognize the social diversity, regional diversity, and they understood that there is one solution to the problems of regional diversity is to accommodate the regional diversity in the nations. So like that, my dear children, yet according to point number 7, we have learned that the federal systems has dual objective. And what is the dual objective? To safeguard and promote unity in the country. So what they do is they promote unity in the country. Though there will be different levels of government, they will safeguard as well as promote unity of the country, and at the same time they will accommodate the regional diversity. So this is what the key features of federalisms. Right now we are going to learn about the exact balance between the power of central government as well as the state government. So dear children, right now we will continue with the exact balance of power between the central as well as the state government, which is different from one federations to another federations. And here there are two ways through federations was formed. The first one, all independent states, they come together on their own to form a bigger unit, so that by pooling their sovereignty, retaining the identity, they increase their security. And this type of federations, or this type of coming together federations, which is including the USA, the Switzerland, as well as the Australia. So my dear children, here what we see that federations are practiced in two ways. The first ones, where we see that all independent states, they are coming together in order to form a bigger unit, so that by coming together or by having the sovereignty as well as the retaining identity, what they do is they increase their security here. And this type of coming together federations, which is including the Switzerlands, the USA as well as Australia. So what the states are doing here, they are coming together so that they could have security, so that they will form a bigger unit, so that they will have more power, and that is the reasons all independent states are coming together to have the coming together federations. So in this first type of federations, the constituent states have equal power. So dear children, here, though they are coming together, but all the independent states have equal power. No one is having less power here. So here, all the independent states are independent here, equal power here, but they are coming together so that they will increase their security, they will have their identity, they will have their power, and in order to form a bigger unit, they are coming together and having these federations, and such type of federations is known as coming together federations, in which the Australia, the USA as well as the Switzerlands are following these type of federations. So in the second type of federations, dear children, here a large countries, what they are doing is they are dividing its power between the different states, different constituent states, and here the national government, what they are doing, they are sharing their powers here. So here the large countries, what they are deciding, they are deciding to divide its power between the constituent states as well as the national government, and such kind of federations are practiced in India, Belgium, Spain. Because in India, Belgium and Spain, we see the holding together federations. Here, all the bigger country, what they are doing, they are dividing their powers with various constituent units of the nations. And such kind of examples are called holding together federations. And these holding together federations is practiced in India, Belgium as well as in Spain. So in second category of federations, where we see the central government used to be very powerful, and in the first category of federations, here all equal states are having equal power, all independent states are having equal power. And in the second type of federations, dear children, we see the central government is more powerful than the state government. But here we see the federal structures, and in the federal structures, what is the main criteria? There is a distribution of power. The power is not resting in one particular government, rather than there is a sharing of power, there is a division of power between the different constituent units of the country. So such kind of federations is practiced in regional diversified cultures. So my dear children, already India, Belgium as well as we see the Spain, we see the regional diversity where the holding together federations are practiced. In India also we see the different community, the different cultures, peoples. So due to that, there is a holding together of federations. There is a country, one, which is sharing its power between the different constituent states of the nations. And in the second category of federations, we see that the central government used to be very powerful here. So my dear children, in my today's videos lectures, I was trying to tell you, or I have told you about the key features of federalism, and at the same time we have discussed about the exact balance of power between the central government as well as the state government. So here we have discussed about two kinds of federations. The first federations, which is telling us about the coming together of federations in order to increase their identity and security. And the second type of federations which we have seen here, that is known as the holding together of federations. So in the second type of federations, what we see, there is a holding of powers, holding up together into a federations. So dear children, here in the second category, the central government used to be very powerful. Thank you so much for listening to me.